Hi, it's Lynn from LynnieCDesigns. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in West Sussex in the UK, and today I'm coming on to make a version of this card. This is my entry for the Global Design Project this week, which is a colour challenge, and it's So Saffron, Seaside Spray and Sahara Sand. And I thought this was lovely, so I'm going to do, this is a version with a background of Seaside Spray, and I'm going to do a version with So Saffron. All the information will be in the description box below. There'll be a link to my blog, all the dimensions and everything, but I will go through them as I show you what I do. I'm using the beautiful Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. This is one big stamp set and it's absolutely beautiful. It does come with a coordinating die set, 12 dies in all, and it cuts out the images, and it also has some sort of background stamps, and then it gives you the outline of the same butterflies. But I'm not going to use this today. I'm just going to actually fussy cut the butterflies that I want to use on the card. The Ornate Florals 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to use a sentiment from the Lovely You stamp set. Got a standard basic white card base, which is half a sheet of A4, so this is 14.8 by 21 and it's scored at 10.5 centimeters. And then I've got a bit of So Saffron, which is cut 5 centimeters smaller, so this is 10 by 14.3. and then I've got a bit of vellum which I will emboss, but that's cut just slightly smaller. And then I've got a scrap of Whisper White. The reason I've got the scrap of Whisper White is that I haven't got any Sahara Sand cardstock. I've only got the ink, so I'm going to show you what I do if I haven't got cardstock of a specific colour. It's really easy to just use some white card and get whatever colour you need. And then I've got some of our shimmery cardstock, and I'm going to use this for my butterflies, so it will give them a really nice shine. So I'm going to use my heat gun and gold white embossing. So I've got Versamark ink, Seaside Spray, So Saffron, and there's the Sahara Sand. And then some embellishments, I just used the basic pearl jewels. So I will just stop waffling and get on with it. But before I do, I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to run the vellum through on my embossing folder. I will be right back. And there we are. This embossing folder is lovely. It gives a really nice definition and texture when you emboss on vellum, because you can see the little white bit. I've already mounted the stamp onto my Stamparatus. So let me pop that down and just do that on the bottom. I know we don't stock these anymore, but I'm going to just run my embossing buddy across that because it gets rid of any static or fingerprints, dust that's on there, and that way the embossing powder will stick to the right part of it. So I'm going to use Versamark and make sure that's nicely inked up. We're talking about fingerprints and just making a mess there. I think that was high enough up. I'll give that a really good press. Make sure that that ink is transferred. And the beauty of the Stamparatus is, if it doesn't, if you don't feel it does, you can ink it up again. Pop it across, and it goes back, straight back onto the same spot. So, pop that out of the way. Just going to bring that in, and I'm going to use gold again because I think it's just really lovely. It's a really lovely effect. Just going to pop all of that on there. Couple of taps on the back and that is perfect. I'll pop that straight back in there. And the Versamark's a great sort of sticky ink and that will stay wet for some time. I'm going to bring that back and I've got my heat gun. And as I've said before, excuse the noise, heat embossing to me is still absolutely magic. Once it starts turning shiny, you move on. I know some people sort of waft it about, but I like to keep it in one place and just follow the magic. And once the gun is hot, it really doesn't take long, you just keep moving it. One last time. And that is absolutely perfect. I just think it's so beautiful. Look how shiny and pretty they are. I'm going to use one of the water painters. Come in a pack of 3. I used the little one actually, so I had more control. You can get ink, you can squeeze them, you can get a re-inker. What I like to do, I haven't got re-inker for the Seaside Spray, which is one of the retiring in colours. So what I'm going to do is just open those 2 up, and using just a block, if you dab that into your ink pad, you have colour ready to go. So I'm not an expert on watercolouring by any chance of the imagination. I've got a little cloth here which I will use to dab off colour in between. Just make sure that there's a little bit of water coming through. I'm going to use the same butterflies that I used before, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of water across the butterfly and then pick up the ink with the aqua painter and just paint the butterfly. I'm going to keep this very simple. Watercolouring is not really my forte, but you can make it as light or as dark as you like, just by the strength of the ink on the brush and the amount of water that you have. So I'm gonna try and keep it fairly simple. I'm going to try and keep my head out of the camera. You don't need to see all my grey fluffy hair. I actually didn't get my hair cut at all last year. It's in desperate need, and the hairdressers are going to hopefully reopen soon. But right, that's the yellow, and then I've wiped off the yellow, and then just, oh, I didn't add water before, so you can just add it directly without adding water before. You can squeeze a little bit of water on and that dilutes the ink. It's just such an easy way of adding a little bit of colour, and you can see where I added it directly, it's a little bit darker, which I quite like. I'm going to dry that off because I want some more there. I'm going to use the same butterflies as before. I have 2 blue and 1 yellow. So these are going to be in the new annual catalogue, and as a demonstrator I'm very lucky that I've been able to get a sneak peek of all the new stuff, and I've been very restrained. I haven't put an order in yet because I did get quite a lot of new bits from the current mini catalogue. I'm going to add some more. That's gone a little bit patchy for some reason, I'm not sure why. I think because I didn't wet it beforehand it's gone a bit mottled, but actually I quite like that. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute. I'll wipe those off so that we don't make a mess. Now what I forgot to do, I want to use the So Saffron on the middles of the butterflies, so I'll show you. Squeeze, and you get plenty on the inside of your lid there. I'm just going to pick that up and use that to colour in the bodies of those 3. My husband's wandering around chatting, so you might hear him in the background. I'm sorry about that. I did say to him, I'm going to be filming, can you keep quiet? But he forgets himself. Never mind. Leave that to dry for a minute. But this is what I do. So I haven't got any of the Sahara sand. So to get some Sahara sand, I'm just going to drag that across my card. Leave that to dry, and then you've got whatever the cardstock. So you can do that. You don't necessarily need to buy all the different coloured cardstock to begin with. You can build up your stash as you're going along, but you can, this is a way of actually getting different coloured cardstock just by buying the inks. Let's see if I've got another piece of Whisper White, and if I do the So Saffron, we will see when that dries. You can see it's a little bit brighter at the minute, but I think you'll find when it dries it'll dry the same colour, so we'll leave that as a test. And I'm going to, I think I'm just going to make sure that they're dry, so I'm going to use my heat tool. Now the reason I've done that is because I don't want to overheat the gold, and it's a nice way of making sure that that's dry. And then I am going to cut these out and just snip those. As I say, the dies would cut them out quite easily, but they cut them out with an edge, and I don't really want an edge, so we'll save that one. This is from my earlier one, so that's the edge that you get round with the die. And I used to be really scared about fussy cutting. I don't know why. Nobody knows what it's going to look like apart from you. But actually, the more you do it, the more you realise that it's all right. It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. And I'm not by any means quick at doing it, but actually it doesn't take that long. Especially with an embossed, and this is the only tricky bit. I'll come back to that. I don't know if that's in camera. There we go. See? And just cut a little bit extra off. I'm sorry about my nails, they're really bad. And I've managed to get curry powder underneath my nails. It looks delightful. So this video will come out on Easter Sunday. Is the plan. I have to go and tell my husband to shut up. It's awful, isn't it? There we are. That wasn't too painful, was it? I don't know. Hopefully that's... the antennas are the tricky bits. That's the hardest thing to do. I told the husband to pipe down. Bless him. I'm trying to entertain the dog while I'm doing this. I can't talk and cut at the same time. I don't know how other people do it. And if you could see me, I'm concentrating so much. I think I'm actually at times poking my tongue out. Headbutted the camera, sorry about that. I'm sure this is absolutely riveting for everybody, and you're all going to be fast forwarding through this. And when I actually edit the video, I might think, oh dear, Nobody wants to see that. And every week I have very good intentions of doing these videos earlier, so I'm not up against the deadline, but I do try and publish a video every week now. Good discipline, but the day job gets in the way and the weeks seem to go past so quickly. So here I am on Saturday afternoon, evening, taping the card that's going to go live tomorrow morning. Must try harder. So there we go. That is, those are my butterflies, my 3 butterflies, and look, and it's so close, isn't it? So there's my Sahara sand cardstock, and I'm going to do the last bit of heat embossing and then we can assemble the card. So use my dust buddy again, and I'm going to use white heat embossing this time. I'm going to keep it the same. Versamark straight down on the card. Now I've done that on there, so we'll just get rid of any excess. Give it a quick blow. There we go, in no time at all. And I am just going to use my trimmer. Is that? Keep that straight there. I'm just going to do that at an angle, just to make it a little bit different, just because. Here we are. Very simple. It's going to go on there. So we just need to work out where we're going to put our butterflies. So I want them like that. How am I going to have it? Yeah, so stick that there. Bring that down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to bring that down and in a little bit so it doesn't hang off too much. There we go. Over there. And all I'm going to do for this one, I'm just going to trim that like that, and that just needs a little sliver off the side there, but I'm going to leave those, and then you can see where the butterflies are, and that is where I'm going to put some white glue, and that is enough to hold the vellum in place. Vellum's always, I find, really tricky to stick on a card, but actually that makes it really easy. Now, what did I do with my sentiment? There it is. So we're going to pop those up on with some dimensionals. I'm going to stick 2 on there. Definitely dimensionaled up there. Take those out of the way. Ooh, put it on the right way up. I think that's straight. Just because, and then I'm going to use my take a pick tool just with the smallest pearls. Just going to add 3 of those to each of the bodies. If we can doing a very good job there. Three there. Let's get those lined up. Silly little buggers. One. 2, 3. So there we have it. I'm not sure which one I prefer. What do you reckon? I think they're both really pretty. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this a thumbs up if you like the video, and I will see you again next week.